Tell you what, it's a bit groovy, that music. I quite like the choice. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Full Tremaine Extra Time and Full Tremaine West Ham United. You know me, you know him. No introductions needed. If you haven't liked one or the other or subscribed to one or the other channels, do us a favour. Get gone. Go do that. One or the other or both. Both's a good idea. Hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when we put this stuff up.
Not like Michael Barrymore. A hot spot is not a good spot, but it's a good spot to subscribe to both channels.
Hey, I tell you, how long you been practicing that one?
I just thought of it on. That's not bad considering I'm a bit fragile still from yesterday. That's quite good going.
Was it the wedding yesterday?
Yeah, it was, man.
Was it a good wedding?
Yeah, it started. Well, we got there at 1 and we got in at midnight.
Oh,
and they had
painful.
So in the evening they had they converted 2 bars there, and they converted one of them to a cocktail bar. So you had fucking flipping all the things up, making cocktails. So we was
doing the old proper malarkey.
Yeah, and we had we was drinking Long Island iced teas.
Oh, Andy, you worry me sometimes. Give me a second. Do your little bit down the bottom. I've got someone calling me. Hang on.
No worries. Yeah, so obviously we're just previewing the game later against Luton, so that should be an interesting game. Obviously, it's their first game back at Kenilworth Road, the redeveloped, I should say. It does make you die that they've had to spend £12 million or whatever it is to get there, to get it all developed. But yeah, but it was the same last year. Obviously, we played Nottingham Forest last year, and we on their opening day, and obviously we didn't get the result, but we had a very few controversial decisions which went against us, but we don't need to talk about that again. Obviously, Luton have only played 2 games because obviously their new stadium getting developed, so they've only played 2 matches and they've lost both of them, only scoring 1 goal and goals conceded 7. So when you look at it like that, they've had 20 shots in total in the Premier League since their return, 4 on target, so their shooting accuracy is 20. And their only goal they've scored has been a penalty. So when you think of it about that, so no clean sheets, as I mentioned, goals conceded 7. Their goalkeeper's made 13 saves. They've had 5 yellow cards. So on paper, this should be a walk in the park, but this is the Premier League and their first game back. So yeah, no, it's I do like a look of them though. Like, they've got some good players. If I'm being perfectly honest, a few danger men. Obviously Ross Barkley back in the Premier League. I know he's not really done much in a very long time, but it's the same as any player. You don't lose your talent, and he could just get anything out of nowhere. Obviously, a few ex-West Ham players in this squad as well, including Pele Ruddock. Obviously, we've been with them all the way since the conference, all the way up. Obviously, Chong.
The dark days.
Yeah, Chong, ex-Man United. Marvelous Makamba, ex-Villa. But the one for me who worries me is Adebayo up front. He's a good player. So I think he's the one to worry about, mate, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Well, he was you had friend of the channel, Kent Irons, on Facebook. He obviously watches a lot of the Championship, etc., League One, and I spoke to him online just over a year ago now, and he was singing the praises of Adebayo. Like he said, he's a young lad in the same mould as Mikel Antonio, and he's not proved wrong. The few games that I've watched him for Luton last year, especially after his name was brought up, I was very taken by the kid. And we'll get obviously first-hand experience of him tonight. He's a good, strong player. The other names you mentioned, Barkley and the rest of it, their talent's undeniable. it's going to be difficult, but I think we've got more than enough about us to do it. Now, I know what people are going to say. I personally would like to see Kudus start tonight. I know his last game was 8 days ago. He scored a hat trick. He's the sort of player that will go at teams. And if you look at what happened last Friday between Chelsea and Luton, that's exactly what Sterling did. He went at Luton, and lo and behold, he has an absolutely fantastic game. He had a great game against us. I'm not going to talk about the England squad because I want to poke Gareth Southgate in the eye with a very hot needle. But that's how you can get at Luton, by going at them. You got top quality players in Bowen and Kudus on the other side. Benny, as well being there. I think we should have enough going forward if we decide that we're going to play on our front foot and not.
I think the Championship obviously is a tough division to get out of. They've had 2 or 3 attempts to obviously try and get out of it, and they're 2 games. Obviously, as I mentioned, don't know if you saw that. They've only scored 1 goal, and that's a penalty. That's all they've scored in the 2 games. They've obviously played a game less than us. I think the likes of Paqueta and stuff like that, this should be a field day for him, an absolute field day, and we'll sort of go on.
And it's not being disrespectful to Luton either, is it, to say that?
No.
When you look at what should be in regards of players, the gulf.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not being disrespectful. I like Luton. I've been seeing a lot of stuff online. A couple of their players, ex-players, etc., saying that the lack of disrespect from West Ham players from West Ham fans compared to what they were getting from the Chelsea fans last week.
Yeah.
Is completely different, and being respectful, I like Luton to a degree. Still haven't forgiven them for donkeys years ago in the cup, but that's neither here nor there. That was a horrible pitch to play on. We've got to go out and beat them, Andy, and we've got to take the game to them.
Yeah, question for you though, mate. Obviously, everyone, there's 7 in the chat, get involved as well. I thought Ogbono had a really good game against Brighton. Aguerd's obviously come back from suspension. Do you drop Ogbono and put Aguerd in, or do you leave Ogbono in? I'm thinking of the kind of game. Remember, he got very physical, and Aguerd got caught out a couple of times in a Bournemouth Solanke doing the same thing. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you should leave Ogbono in for this one?
I mean, it depends, mate. I mean, listen, we've got a very long season ahead of us. Okay, like I did a little video earlier. The draw was made for the hi, Joan. The draw was made earlier for the the Europa League, and I feel we got a good draw. I mean, don't get me wrong; it could have been easier. I think that there were teams in there. I think the easiest group was the final group. I think it's Harken, Mulder, Bayer Leverkusen, and some other complete and utter random that I've never heard of in my entire lifetime. I do believe that Leverkusen have got the easier group. But I look at our group: Olympiacos, Freiburg, and the Bacca Topola. We should be topping that group, Andy. But the problem is, it's not like you can rotate. Probably, no disrespect, but probably only Bacca Topola are the only real team there that I would overly rotate against. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to them in the same way as I do Luton. But we've got a long season ahead of us. So with regards to this being what you consider to be an easier game, and you saying that we're probably, keeping Ogbono in there, for me, I think we probably should keep Ogbono in there, not because of the way that Aguerd plays, but more for rotation. Or what you could do is Aguerd missed the last one, bring Aguerd in, take Zuma out. Do you know what I mean? You haven't got to play.
It's just the left foot. They're both left footed,
your strongest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree with you. I think the back five, including the goalkeeper, pretty much picks itself. If I'm being perfectly honest, like you said, a Bonner or a Gued, Ariola, Soufal, Zuma, and Emerson, which is my like I keep saying it every stream since March. Emerson's been the best player, most consistent for me.
Yeah.
For the club. He had a bit of an off game, but obviously Souček concussion. I don't think he's playing.
No,
Right.
he's not even in the squad, I don't think, mate. He has to miss it due to concussion protocols. He has to be left out of the squad.
So the two, technically, I know that he doesn't. So that'd be Alvarez and Ward-Prowse as the sit-in, or Alvarez on his own sitting.
See, I think it'll more be Alvarez. I think it'll be, again, much like we went against Brighton. Yeah, 4-1-4-1. Your back four agree. Yeah, I mean, you can rotate one of three, can't you? You've got Alvarez, who I personally think in a 4-1-4-1 does a better job than what we've seen prior. You've also then got, moving forward, you've got Ward-Prowse and Paquetá in there together. And then you're looking at your left and right being probably Bowen and Benrahma, in my opinion. That's how I see it going. You? Looks like you got a fan in the chat as well, my man.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice to hear, isn't it? I like that. Thank you, Lee.
Yeah. You got to say it to Duke as well. It's a bit of disrespect.
Hey, Lee, listen, I don't do it for the fame. I've got a perfect face for radio.
But no, I feel confident, mate. I know we could sit here and do analysis like we want. Not that we're being boring for everyone either, but I can't see anything. I'm gonna call it now. I'm going for a 3-0 win. I think it'll be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to play Kudus. I think we're going to see, a front five, if you will, that we saw. Well, I think you're going to see the same starting lineup we saw against Brighton, with the exception of obviously Souček for Benny, which was the sub in the game anyway. I think you're going to see that front five, obviously, with Antonio completing that. I don't want to, like you say, bore everyone with, going into tactical analysis. There's other games for that when you come up against teams where we can analyse more. If you want, no disrespect to Luton here, and they're going to find that there's going to be some really tough games in this league, and I think they're really going to find themselves up against it. Don't get me wrong; it's a very old stadium. I mean, that stadium is what I'd consider to be an old school football ground. As Emerson goes to take a throw on, he's probably going to be tapped on the shoulder by a geezer sitting in the front row asking him if he wants one of his chips or a sip of his Fanta. That's how close they are at this. I mean, you thought we were close at Upton Park. Jesus wept. These guys are even bloody closer.
Even the corners, I don't think they've got much run up for a corner either.
Mate, you ain't going to be just one step. It's going to be a one-step corner. And I think that's going to be your limit. I mean, the new stadium, I watched the time-lapse new stand. I watched the time-lapse of the stand going up. And 13 weeks, I think that's bloody impressive, Andy, to be honest with you. I think that's a bloody impressive run to get. Don't get me wrong, it's not a massive tiered stadium stand. I do believe that they still got limited vision in certain seats because I think they've got two massive great pylons running through the middle of the bloody roof. I don't know if you've seen that, but it looks like they've got floodlights going up through the stand. So it's not ideal, but then the placement of the stadium isn't ideal considering you have to go through some 8-year-old Doris's kitchen out through her garden and up a set of steps into the way end. So, can't imagine that they're going to be happy with, a couple of thousand West Ham fans trouncing through the place tonight. But it is what it is. I like the stadium. Like I say, I like an old school stadium. I think it's going to be interesting. Like I say, players are going to be going up to take corners and throw-ons, and the geezers behind, we're going to be able to touch them and ask them if they can have their shirt after the game, you know. So, but it much being said, the same as you, mate. I'm looking at in fact, I've done a 3-0, a 3-1, and a 4-0 West Ham bet tonight. Also, Sky Bet have done a bit of a cheeky one, even money on Jarrod Bowen to have one shot on target today. So that's a free double your money bet there, quite easily. Yeah, I've stuck a tenner on that. That'll be 20 quid back tonight. A few more beer tokens, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's happening here. I'm very laggy. The internet's playing up here again.
You did go a little bit blurry.
So
you look like you look like you've been pixelated at one point. It's like someone that didn't want us to see your face.
Yeah, no. Right, what would?
Oh, he's gone. All right, I'll do it myself. No, he's still there. Andy, I can see you in the bottom of my screen. What are you doing? You pressing buttons that you shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the camera off. See if that helps.
Let's have a look and see what happens. Obviously, you're not at home, are you? So yeah.
Yeah. It's always the flipping way.
Don't worry about it, my man. Listen, those of you in the chat, there are 7 of you. Mr. Doofus has already gone in with his score prediction. He's gone 3-1 with the Mighty Hammers. Those 7 of you in the chat, if you haven't already done so, like the stream on both channels. If you haven't already done so, jump across from one or the other and like the other channel. If you've already done that, thank you. And stick your score predictions in the chat before we call it a day. He's back. Hello.
Yeah, I thought I might as well just come back. I'm laggy, so I do apologise.
Sorry, mate. It's not the end of the world. We don't claim to be the most professional West Ham YouTube channel out there, so don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Right, I think that's it then, mate, isn't it? Really?
I think we've covered what we need to. We've been going 17 minutes. We didn't promise, a 2-hour stream. Josiah's gone 5-1 West Ham. I like his confidence. I might even drop that one. Jones gone 4-1 to the Mighty Hammers. So there's 3 out of 3 there. Plus you and me, 5 out of 5 for a West Ham win this evening. Kick off 8 o'clock. It is on Sky. I do already have my table reserved downstairs. I've got a few West Ham fans coming to the pub to watch the game with me, so I won't be on my own. I hope everyone enjoys the game. I hope it's the result we want. I hope we sign another couple of players this evening. Kostic and Ekatike would be my preference. Andy, any last words from you? You handsome sod?
No. Just I'm looking forward to the game, mate. 100%. I can't wait for it to get started. Really, I think we'll win comfortably, like I said. And I hope everyone enjoys their weekend.
Indeed. Take care, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you over the weekend with a review of the game. What are you putting your hand up? You telling me to stop, or you waving bye?
I'm saying goodbye.
All right. If anyone, if you haven't already done so, like, comment, stream, all the rest of it, all the rest of the malarkey, and we will see you on the downside. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.